Our channel, and should not be taken as financial advice. No financial decision should be made based on the material shown here on the channel. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss. It's not suitable for all investors. Any investor can potentially lose all or more of the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Trading is one of the riskiest and most difficult tasks one can undertake. It must be approached with extreme caution. Do not invest any money you can't afford to lose. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway. Appreciate y'all coming on here. We have a large red day. ES is coming on down, and if you look right off the bat, what do you see here? You see a strong red trend, but what do you see from this little bitty weak buy that we had up here? No buyers. There are times to buy the dip, and there are times not to buy the dip, and today is the days not to buy the dip. There's no buyers whatsoever on this chart. Anytime the buyers have even stepped in, we have had the sellers just completely obliterate them, and the buyers have stepped out. So everything I'm seeing here is below S5 here. Obviously, we have a strong support. That's why I notated the only strong support today was S5, and that's why we're holding up right on top of it, because all the buyers were hanging out right here. Whatever buyers were here were quickly left, and a lot of the profit taking was already done and coming on back down. Now, once we come on back down for a double tap of 439, we'll know the true intent of the buyers. Is this just a double tap and they're going to pile in here, or is this going to continue on down? Either way, we'll be tracking the volume. In terms of Bookmap, this is the Bookmap stream after all. All liquidity is down. We've got a couple of levels up here, but this 225 and 231, that's small potatoes. If you like potatoes and you go order a potato, I want the biggest one on the menu. I don't want small potatoes. Right here. I want big potatoes, and these are all small. So below here, 4410, I'm looking for 4400. Below that, who knows? Liquidity is pretty light under 4400, just as it is light up top. So I'm currently flat, no positions. I've absolutely obliterated my daily and weekly goal. So I don't necessarily need another trade, but if I see something nice, I'll take it. Great potato analogy. That's why I'm on the server. There you go. Hey, you know what would go great on some potatoes? Some fried potatoes? Chili oil. There you go. Jabroni. I love it. Chili oil. Love it. All right, so we came down 44.10. Spicy olive oil. Also oddly accurate. 44.10 below that. CVD tried to pop up here. You see this, the CVD trended back up a little bit, but all the way back down again. In terms of GEX, let's get GEXy for a moment. 439 is the aggregate flip between the GEX. Now we have a lot of convoluted area. So between 433 and 439, the GEX goes back and forth and flips green and positive, or positive, negative, positive, negative. just because there's a lot going on. There's a whole bunch of positive and negative gamma right in between the 433, 439. So there's a big old flipping point mid 430s, I would say. And today we popped right into 439 before a weak bounce. And then, of course, tomorrow I think we're going to be coming on down and testing 433 on SPY. SPY tomorrow is going to be shaking and baking with JPOW. JPOW comes out with 10:05. He talks tomorrow. So he's going to come out, start bumping his gums, and we're going to start to shake and bake. And that's when I think we start to fall off. Let me see. One second. All right, 44.13. We have a little bit of a bottom wick. We have the POC shifting lower. We have the 2-hour POC, which is obviously a bigger one. Where did that thing shift to today? That's 44.83 on the ES. NASDAQ is 188, so that's up above. 60-minute candles, what do we have? Nothing but red. So the current area on NASDAQ, 14,960 and change, is this is the range that we spent from Monday 1 o'clock, and then Tuesday in the afternoon, and then we get a bounce again Wednesday. So this is now the fourth time this week we have entered into the 14 mid 950 area right here. So for anywhere between 948, 949 up until 15,000, that little 60-point range is a common place for NASDAQ. And they came all the way back down to hit into this area. It's good stuff. $50 into 500. That's $1,000. That's 1,000%er. Nice. Very cool. It's a beautiful way to do it. So looking right here, watch the liquidity shift. Obviously, we're in the afternoon, so in terms of volume, we got to be careful. Got to be careful. Probably pick back up here in the last hour of the day, right when we were looking to sign off this. Significant delay in Discord on YouTube audio. Yeah, YouTube's going to be a little bit more delayed, for sure. Do you have one more stream today? Nope, that's it today. Tomorrow, though, we'll be streaming again with Bookmap. We'll have 2 streams tomorrow. We'll be part of the Pro Trading webinar with Bookmap, and then, of course, our stream. $15,000 still holding. ES pin right here. Things are working great. The levels are all clicking. We just got to figure out where we're going from here on out today. Do I stream every day in Discord? Yes, I do. Every morning from market open till roughly 12 o'clock or so, we'll stream in the Discord. Monday through Friday. Do we see SPY falling more tomorrow? Yes, I do. My whole thesis this week was been early green, late red, with volatility kicking up today and tomorrow. So far, it's playing out pretty well. I have no reason to believe that we won't have a red day tomorrow. Unless we have a strong V recovery back up, which I don't think is going to happen, I think tomorrow we have a red down day. Not to mention JPow's talking. All that to say, even if I am wrong and we do have some green tomorrow, we're still going to have volatility. So there's still going to be plenty of opportunity to trade tomorrow, and a lot of great opportunity to put on some great positions. NVIDIA came on down to 474. 472 was the imbalance before bouncing back up to 487. They're up 3.3% overall as all the people holding calls get crushed like an aluminum can. You're welcome, K1. Not until volume, L. Not until volume. So far. On a move this precipitous by the sellers, when you hit a demand after this big of a move, the buyers usually hit pretty hard. And when they do, you'll see it notated in volume. And so far, we haven't had that. Usually when we have a V recovery, it's highly evident on the 15-minute chart. And so far, it's not. What strategy would have been great for NVIDIA ER? NASDAQ futures or selling premium? Or buying NVIDIA shares itself? Buying or shorting NVIDIA shares alone would be good. But NVIDIA options, terrible option. Sorry, Dan. I wasn't calling you out. I'm just saying. Now, if you're going to put on, like I said, if you want to put on that big play in the event that NVIDIA runs 25%, hey, do your thing. Do your thing. Just use proper position sizing. What are the red lines on my chart? These are my SR levels that I post every day. And the plus sign here, the highlighted one, indicates significance. 44.10 right here. 95% return. Yeah, that's awesome, Dan. For sure. For sure. What will be your main levels for SPY tomorrow? You'll have to tune in and see, K1. All right. So now we've just kind of consolidating right here at 44.14, 44.12. Still looking for 44.10. Overall, I'm pretty dang happy with my exits this morning. I went upstairs. My wife was making fresh-made fettuccine pasta with meat sauce. Holy crap. God, man. I bet that's fantastic. I made some homemade tortellinis last year. Fresh pasta doing everything. Incredible. Ricotta. Please send your Discord link. It is in the description of this YouTube video, and I'll go ahead and get you one as well. Let's see. There you go. We are pinned to 44.13, not moving on NASDAQ either. So right now there's nothing actionable. Right, the liquidity is building lower, 14.975 here on NASDAQ, shifting lower. I have no doubt that we're going to hit 44.10 at some point. If I had to guess, I'd probably say a little bit of green into the last 20-30 minutes as positions close out. But that's just a guess. I wouldn't trade off of that with overall red tomorrow. Cooking is religion. It is, yeah. Therapeutic. 44.11. Here's the test of 44.10 again. Thank God my wife can cook. Most of my buddies' wives are no bueno when it comes to cooking. Dude, you better be hitting the gym hard, man. I told Mrs. O.M. she's a great cook, too. I was like, I gotta hit the gym hard. All this southern cooking. See, I cook all the northern stuff. She cooks all the southern stuff. I'm a terrible fryer. I can't fry worth nothing. But hey, I can make a lasagna with the best of them. Let's see. All right, still bottom wicking here, holding S5. Breach 4,400. It looks like it. I'd say 44.10 is going to be my first test. We'll have to see how I have to see how the buyers are going to act at the 07. Once we take out 07. Now 40. I would be advised here. Is the weekly low positioning down in the 4,400 area? Oh, actually, that's not right. Weekly lows is 43.72. Yeah, so we have this week at 43.72.25 is weekly low. But if we do get that hairy tomorrow, you definitely want to be aware of that. The weekly candle is terrible. Big old top wick on the weekly. And here we go, testing 44.11 again for a lower position. Let's see what we can do. My wife's Italian. It runs in the family. I love it. GX flip. It is down in the 4.3, between 4.39 and 4.33. It actually flips twice down in that range. How long did it take you to become profitable enough to become a full-time trader? It took me 3 years to be consistent and profitable. Now, up until that 3 years, I did have a lot of periods of profitability, but to be consistent enough where I could rely on growth, about 3 years. And what I mean by that, it took me 3 years to get to the point where I didn't have major drawdowns in my account. And then after that, it was just really figuring out who I am and sustaining that. And then learning multiple different markets, because there's no way you could possibly master trading in 1 year or 2 years because the market shifts so many times. Bear market, bull market, sideways, chop, high volatility, low volatility, different presidents, different policies, different global political agendas, all this kind of stuff changes the markets. So you have to go back and forth. You have to learn this kind of stuff. So once that's really the left on deck, is then just making sure you apply that. But it took me about 3 years. Even then, I never really traded full time in the sense where that was my only thing. I was always flying. Of course, I love my job. I would never give that up for anything. So yeah, it's a blended. I think it's incredibly difficult to trade as your primary source of income because there's too much pressure. So it takes a lot of time. 170, I think that's about to pop. 44.10, we have another iceberg coming on. Let's see if we could manage this thing. I don't think we're going to get the big pump through it like we get that's exciting, because right now the volume is kind of light. but we'll see. $180, $240. Oh, we may get it. Here we go. Pop. Popping. Let's see. 44.10. How and when do you choose between trading NASDAQ and SPX options? When I am more confident, I will trade future or options. So when I'm looking for a big directional move, or if I have confidence in general, I will go to options, SPX options. When I'm speculating, or if I don't really want to deal with theta, then I'll go over to NASDAQ or ES futures. The past couple of weeks or so, I've been on an options kick. So we just transacted this 390 iceberg and a small bounce here, a couple of points. $44.11. NASDAQ has this 987. Couldn't quite get down to this 975, but that's all I'm doing right now, is I'm looking for the next move. I know volatility is coming here in about half hour, and I'm just kind of tracking this stuff. No current positions on there. I'm not really looking to get into an active position yet, unless I see something break down pretty quick. What happens in half an hour? Top of the hour. It starts kicking off the afternoon. Do I have a prediction for tomorrow? I think down. I think red. My whole thesis this entire week was early bullishness, late weakness into Thursday, Friday. And so I think tomorrow, I think today sets that up. I think it's teed up, ready to go. And tomorrow will be red. Liquidity coming on here a little bit, 49997. Just a touch. What stock? This is NASDAQ and ES. I'm flipping back and forth here between NASDAQ and ES. ES has a little bit of liquidity down here to 4405, 4407. NASDAQ is coming off just a little bit, and we have this 14975 just below. Here comes another push down here on NASDAQ. Seeing if we can make it. Still can't. ES transacted that. It looks like they want to come down and eat this up. But, and see this guy doubling down? You see this liquidity shift lower? So if you see this right here, this guy came down and transacted a little bit lower to fill down after taking out this iceberg. We have 4411, we have 1496 on NASDAQ. Looking to roll over here. We do have this guy coming on here, 4420. Overall, volume is pretty light. NASDAQ shifted down lower too, this 14972 as well. I want to see a negative 2% day again. I mean, it's been a while. We haven't had a 3% day in a long time. 3% days, we're in a 99th percentile for amount of time between 3% days. So we're due for a 3% day. $984, $14904. Still can't get down. $14,982, $44.10. A little bit more pressure. Coming on down. There we go. Break lower. Break lower. If this wouldn't have started at negative at 1.5%, it would have been a very red day. Yeah, it probably would have been closer to 3% day. Yeah. Because heck, I mean, Nasdaq alone is down. It topped out at 418. So you can do the math there. 450 points drop on Nasdaq. Do I ever use time and sales? I'll take a look at it from time to time. It's not something I focus on too drastically. At least not in the dynamic nature. All right, there goes Nasdaq filling that liquidity. There you go. And now we're shifting lower as the market is rolling. Here's a SPY low of the day test. From VPA standpoint, we have no buyers stepping in, so all controlled by the sellers. SPX is currently 4398, and things are looking spicy. Nasdaq has not yet tested low of the day yet. SPY is currently doing that right now. We have an iceberg coming on Nasdaq down here. That's another 20 points or so. ES is rolling off. Looks like 4400 has this written all over it. All over it. Dow's making low of the days. Nice. Nasdaq is coming off. ES falling. New low of the day on ES. Coming on down. $44.06. Now you're seeing liquidity shifting lower here, even lower. 43.95. Clear drawings, clear. I'd probably say we're going to touch 44.10. So 4400. 44.10 was my target right there. We blasted through it. I'd say 4400 is the next on deck here. Not to mention they're rolling down to 43.95. Coming off. I lost it. I didn't follow my strategies. I really want to learn. Well, let's learn. Let's learn. A common error by a lot of traders on a day like today is to buy the dip, which is not a bad habit to have because the market always tends to bounce and do those V recoveries. However, you don't want to go blindly buying the dip or waiting for the dip or sitting here watching this whole thing fall off and just waiting for a call. So even on this bounce, I wouldn't even want to play a call on this because there's no real volume to tell me to enter this. And if you look out the entire day, there's been no volume spikes for the buyers. The tape has been controlled by the sellers the entire day. So if that was your issue, then I would encourage you to really dive into VPA and look. Because when we do V recover, it's usually pretty... Let me find a V recovery day. It's usually pretty obvious on the 15-minute chart. Usually, not always. Where'd that thing go? All right, here's a good one. So you see we sold off from pre-market on the 15-minute chart. You see the volume pulls away. Volume uptick on the 15-minute right there. Right here, that was an anomaly. I remember this. This was an anomaly where we didn't have any volume to do that. Who's calling me? Actually, I'd probably need to answer this. I'll be right back in 1 second. All right, sorry about that. All right, 44.8 here, still hanging on, and liquidity still at 4,400. And that's a good amount of liquidity there, about 430 orders and change. Not massive, but definitely the biggest on the chart right now. Powell calling OM. Yeah, I wish. You may have shared this already, but are you still bearish going to Jacksonville? Yes, I am. I can't speak for the last hour of the day tomorrow, but I am bearish, and not strictly because of JPOW itself, but the GEX rolls over even more, and we have a GEX flipping point down into the 433, 434 area. So the exposure on the markets is way down to 433. So in my opinion, there's just so much on the options chain. Not to mention from VPA daily, this setup is set up to dump. So there's just too much to tell me that the probabilities is down tomorrow. And my thoughts. The PDT rule got sucked into a really bad call. When I got out for the put, I had 0 day trades. Any advice on how to avoid the PDT rule? You could backdoor the PDT with writing premium. But other than that, I don't. Get you a cash account. Yeah, I hate that rule. I think it's the worst rule ever. There's no reason for it, but unfortunately, it's hard to get around it. I just got caught trying to short the bottom for a continued move to 4,400. Well, just be careful. I'm personally not in a trade just yet. 4,400 down here. Yeah, trade cash account. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so if you do a cash account, you can, like, if you've got $5,000, you go open and close the $5,000. But you can't do what IBKR used to do. IBKR used to let you sling as much as you wanted all day long, which was amazing. So, what else besides volume on the 15 would you like to see of a recovery? From a market awareness standpoint, so there's a couple of things that I would look for. One, XLF had a massive rally out of the gate. Now they've sold all the way back off into 33.90. If XLF starts to recover along with the other X sectors, then I would look for a bounce. That's the first part. Second part, the VPA itself, 15-minute, 5-minute, I would want to see some bottom wicks, hammers, greens with the associated green volume. We're still not seeing that. Even if I'm late on a recovery trade by waiting for confirmation, a recovery trade will provide a lot of upside potential. So I'm not really trying to bottom tick the market with that. Now, having said that, I don't see any indication of bouncing here. In fact, look at that green candle just got top wicked. I see no volume for the buy side. I see none of the X sectors are recovering. XLF is still holding the bottom of the day here. Apple is still coming down. VIX is still up. In fact, VIX is up 4.76% today and back over 16.7. The bonds are still downtrending, so there's no real any strength across the market yet. And I'm not saying we're not going to bounce. We could have a little relief bounce into the bell here, but at the moment, there's no signs of bouncing. Still holding short. Hope to see it roll back over. Just set your stops on it. By the way, so far I've never lost with your morning range strategy. Oh, you're welcome. Good stuff. I appreciate you. Look forward to having you. Just a reminder, though, we're not a call-out server. So We are a teaching server because I want you all to do exactly that. Apply the stuff that we learn and trade off of that. 433, not 4333. Fire nice. So 433 on SPY. Yeah, the morning range it works beautifully well. All right. These bounces suck. Just drilled the 4400. They were trying to. We still have this liquidity building. Look how deeply they've built this 4400. There's been what? You see it perpetually just building here into the 444, and they're shifting down to 4395. So the fact that we've got nothing up here, in fact, they took off at 4430. They have nothing up to the upside. We've got another iceberg just below our position. We've got 4400, and they're building 4395. I mean, look, they're even building 4350 for tomorrow. 4325, they're building this stuff for tomorrow. And this is them just expanding the book into tomorrow's session. Hmm. 4409. Hmm. 4409 here. You see the top wicks? You see the low volume? Just trickling. Now we are holding lows of the day right here. So if we are going to get a bounce back up to, let's say, 440, it'll probably happen in the next candle or so. But right now, there's no volume. Was red and caught a 5-handle scalp back to green. Nice 5-contract scalp. Nice Porter. Hmm. So far, pretty slow stuff. Pretty slow stuff. We have 20 minutes at the top of the hour. I would look for an influx of volume and volatility there. And then, of course, into the bell as we position for ourselves for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be feisty. Took my loss, and I'm down. I'm sure it'll continue down. Well, it's just right now there's no confidence because it's volume. When you've got this type of volume, this is going to do all this stuff. It's going to whipsaw back and forth. Can you please explain market awareness and how you do a swing trade tomorrow? All right. Well, here, you know what? I'll show you. See what I can do this. Can I do this? I have to figure out how to work my Streamlabs. I'll just do it the easy way. So this is my top screen right here. Couldn't paste, image is too large. All right. I'll do this. There you go. So this is my top screen. I have 6 charts. The top right here, or the top left is Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. The bottom is XLF. This is the bonds, and this is the VIX. Volatility is the bottom left. Here, I'll do this. Watermarks. There you go. There's your watermarks. So this is my top left screen that y'all don't see on the stream. I'll minimize it so y'all can see it because I know I have to get the scaling properly. So this allows me to track the big things that make up the market. So when I'm able to track this, if the tech moves, I'll see it, and I'll see it move. If XLF moves, I'll see that, financial sector. If the bonds move, you get the point. I can see these move in real time. In addition to this right here that I'm looking at 24/7, I've got my watch list. It's a very intentionally built watch list for my style of trading. I've got the top 10 of XLF, I've got the top 10 of SPY. I've got the top 10 X sectors right here, and then I've got all the futures. Right here, all the futures and futures related products, ES, NASDAQ, oil, the Russell, VIX, etc. Now below that, I've got my meat and potatoes. I call it that because this is the stuff I look at frequently. TRTX really isn't belong there, but I couldn't figure out anywhere else to put it, so I put that right here. Bonds, there you go, and the close to global markets at the bottom. So all this stuff is very intentionally built. And me knowing what I know about the S&P, if I see something happening, I have a good handle on how it's going to affect the S&P. So even if we are at an SR level, support resistance, macro, whichever, if I see Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, if I see XLF, if I see them moving in a big way, I can anticipate with some degree of accuracy what the S&P is going to do, or NASDAQ is going to do. And usually I can get a handle on it within a couple of seconds. Now I tie that in to my VPA analysis, which is what we're looking at here, volume, price action, all that kind of stuff. And then with my other further analysis with the levels, the SR levels, the macro levels, and then the GEX, the option chains analysis, I got a pretty good handle on where I'm going to enter and exit. Now, if you are trading right now, you are playing with fire. I'm sure y'all have seen the graphic I've made over the times to trade and the times not to trade. Right now, we're smack dab in the middle of the day. You do not take a trade unless you see something that's highly confident, or if you are going to trade, you speculate with very, very small positions because this is not the time to trade. Period. Because we typically have low volume. When you have low volume, it's difficult. Do I look at the 30-minute or 15? I usually I go back and forth between the 5 and 15 frequently. I do track the 30 and the 60 and the 120. I also go down to the 3, but I spend most of my time on the 5 and 15. 14 minutes at the top of the hour. When's the best time to trade? In my opinion, it's the first hour to hour and a half of the day. In my opinion. So this guy right here, see if I can paste it. There we go. So this is a little graphic I made right there. So from 9:30 to 10:30, from 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern time, that's this little shaded area. That's volatile. It's just be aware that it's incredibly volatile. From 10 to 11, which is the first hour of the day outside of the 30 minutes, that is a high confidence. That's usually where most of my bread and butter trades hit. The next 11, 12, you can make some good trades there, but it's usually low confidence. From 12 o'clock till 3 o'clock Eastern time, hands off. It's just low confidence, small position sizing. That's where I want to get out. Usually about 12 o'clock, that's when all right, I'm done. That's enough for me today. I'm gone. The last hour of the day is power hour. To me, that's extremely low risk trades, or high risky trades. I'm sorry, low position sizing. Coming off and down 15 to 1600 last power hour. The market is going to adjust. It's going to adjust for tomorrow's trades. And it's going to be nutty. So I'm out. Now, this was obviously a lot more prevalent in 2022 when power hours were crazy. But it's still very, very relevant. What is the morning range? The morning range is the first hour of the day, high and low. It allows you to identify range versus consolidation and play off of that. So there's the high, and then the low for today is right here. Now today, it doesn't come into effect that much, but because it's a strong trend, which this is a rare day. Like, it's very rare we get a day like this that doesn't even really bounce, or like to the upside, either one. But when you watch this stuff, and you use it consistently, it really starts to help you. It's the high and low of the first hour of the day. I also have a YouTube video on it as well, if you'd like to watch that. It kind of explains it in depth. Which is right here. All right. You're welcome, Big Life. You're welcome, Trey. James asks, is a Kavotra Bell a real maneuver? Is that that's a real maneuver. But you can't do it unless you've got vector thrust. So there's only like a handful of aircraft in the world that can do that. Having a hard time holding on to my winning trades. Any advice? Trailing stops, baby. Trailing stops. So as you're moving down in a trend, the hardest part of identifying your trade as being in a trend, a good trend, is the first 10 minutes, which is not easy to do. So what I do, how to identify my trends, is I get in a trade. If it's going well, I'll set a stop right at break even. And then as we go deeper into the trend, I will set a stop based on the pivots on the market. So as we're coming down, like today, for example, I knew that there's a certain points where there's going to be a decent level of confidence that the market is either going to consolidate or bounce off of it. So I would bring down my stops to accommodate that. So if it did bounce, it would close out the position. I wouldn't get blown out. So I would just let it eat, let it eat, let it eat, and then move that trailing stop on down. Now, does it happen all the time? No. In fact, most of the time, you're going to get stopped out before you capture the big trend. However, all you need is 1 or 2 days a quarter where it doesn't stop you out, like today where I hit almost 400%, which when's the last time I've had nearly a 400%er? All you need is 1 or 2 trades of those a quarter, where it actually doesn't trip your stops, and you're going to blow it out. It's amazing. You're not trying to catch the trend every single day. It's not practical for that to happen. But if you can catch 1 or 2 a quarter, that's all you need. And that's exactly what happened today. When the trend is strong enough where it doesn't reverse and stop you out before continuing on, then you're going to catch the big trend, and that's where you want to use it. Apple put another low of the day in. Amazon is still hanging out about halfway up. Microsoft is still hanging out low of the day, but Apple's getting smoked. What kind of volume and candle are you looking for if you were to enter a call or put right now? Volume candle, I'd love to see someone at least up to match this candle. If I want to see reversal volume, it needs to be at least matching the height of this candle. This 1155 candle. So yeah, Nvidia is looking weak, yeah. VIX seems relatively low today considering the sell-off. Well, it's still maintained at 1664. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it went from 1550 to 1664. Yeah, I mean, I see your point. When you do trailing stops, will you take profit, or do you close the whole position or do multiple sells? That's a good question. So it depends on how early I am in the position. And it depends on the price action. So when I set my first trailing stop, it's going to be most likely just half or 30%. That's usually my first scale out. It's either like 33% of the position or half the position. Now, if things are obviously breaking down quickly, then I need to get out ASAP. So, still coming on down. Bookmap still has its 4400. What's your impression of whether we go up later today or tomorrow? I don't think we're going up tomorrow. I think we're going down tomorrow with JPAL. I think if you let me go look at the daily chart. Look at this. So we had the weak bounce under decreasing volume. So if I'm going to get a big, after this big bearish we have in August, if we're going to get a big bounce recovery, I need to see the volume sustained. But look what happened. Immediately, volume dropped, tanked. And we had this big pop up here that was all driven by NVIDIA. If it wasn't for NVIDIA, maybe. But this was a hype pump into incredible NVIDIA numbers. And then Here we are putting on the biggest red candle of the month. You don't want to follow up a bounce with the biggest red candle of the month. And now I think we're going to come down and probably test somewhere in the ballpark of 433, which is the GEX level, if not lower. Last year, Nasdaq sold off 700 points on the second day of whatchamacallit. That thing that's happened tomorrow. The thing. You know the thing. Jackson Hole. So no bounce on the 5-day moving average on Qs. Nope. Market doesn't care about the moving average. Market cares about order flow. And right now it's points down. 4,300? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Munching away. That's right, Porter. Munching away. But my lines. Oh, man. Here we go, 4407. SPY is coming off here. Here's another test lower. 43903, and we got 4400 coming. Apple, new low of the day, getting smoked. Yeah, but we have to realize what we did yesterday, too. All this is, we're not even back to yesterday's. We haven't even filled yesterday's full imbalance yet. That's the beautiful thing on ES. Like, we're not even there yet. So, as strong as this downside is, all we're doing is just undoing yesterday. We're undoing 1 day's worth of movement. I'm curious, how does one make the transition from full-time worker to full-time trader over a period of time? Gradually. You need to prove to yourself that you can make not only your salary, but you need to make your salary plus your health care, plus your 401k contributions, plus if you have a spouse, her or his income, plus you need to make sure that you're accommodating for losses and consistency and fees and taxes. I mean, you need to do it little by little. You need to go years. You need to be trading with both your job and your trading to prove to yourself that you can do it. It's one of the more difficult things you could possibly do. So, and only then you can tip your toe way into it. But first of all, you need to have no consumer debt. If you're riddled with consumer debt, you have no business making that jump. There's too much risk. I'm telling you, the second you quit your job to start trading full time, you're gonna zero your account out. It's just the way the world works, man. So. All right, y'all, that is the top of the hour, which means I have to hang it up. That's my allotted hour for Bookmap, 1 hour. So I'll be back next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for the same thing. I have some good conversation about the Bookmap. Obviously, we didn't really move that much. Very low volume, so it is what it is. Tomorrow I will be streaming with Bookmap. It is a one-off, a special event for their Trader Pro webinar tomorrow morning. So if you want to be there, then look for the notifications on the YouTube. If you don't get the notifications, that means you need to go down and hit the subscribe button for the channel. I'd appreciate you doing that. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning for some more streaming. Fantastic day, 360+% and a 79% this morning. Unbelievable day. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. I'm out. See ya!